So Emma, today is supposed to be departure date. Do you think we're gonna be leaving today?
I don't think so.
Because looks like somebody is sick. Teal. This is so pathetic. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good actually, but
You sound terrible.
I know. I just need to rest a little.
So tomorrow maybe?
We'll see.
Compass is liking it. He's chilling, relaxing. Anything to get underneath the covers. Compass! Compass!
Okay, this isn't the time to make a video, honey. I don't understand you. I just need to rest.
So all kidding aside, I tend to joke a lot when I'm worried about something just to kind of lighten the mood, but Teal has been sick. He was sick, I thought it was not anything serious, but after the first day, he was still not feeling well. And, I've been checking his vitals, checking his blood pressure and temperature just to make sure that everything was okay. He was just really tired. So, in light of this pandemic, we're always really careful. We have been social distancing. We've been wearing our mask if we go into town. We've just been trying to keep our distance from everybody around us. But you just never know. I called our doctor and we were able to do a video conference, and from what she gathered from my information to her and what she's seeing with Teal, it looks like he just has the cold and it's not COVID. So thank goodness for that. In the meantime, he has been sleeping most of the 48 hours so far. So I don't want to go out because obviously we miss our weather window. The sea conditions out there they're okay, and the winds are perfect for us. But the seconds between the swells went from 8 to 12 seconds to 4 to 5 seconds, which doesn't make for a fun ride down the coast. And I really do want Teal 100% healthy before we set sail. So it looks like in the next couple days the weather's going to look better again, and I'm hopeful that Teal will be recovered at that point and we can leave port. We'll see. There are a few things that Teal and I do before we leave port, and every port we do this. Teal has a slew of things that he likes to check before we head out, and that includes checking both engines, making sure that the belts and oil levels are all right, and he also tops off our water and making sure that our fuel and propane are all capped off. So far, since we've left Westport, we have only used about 12 gallons of diesel, which is awesome. That just means that we are doing more sailing than motoring. I love it. So we didn't obviously need to go to the fuel docks, so Teal just took our dinghy over there to cap off some of our jerry cans. While he was over there, he noticed that the water stream on our outboard was a little low. It was kind of like a trickle versus a steady stream. So obviously he's going to tackle that before we head out for our next port. And obviously he got sick, so it's been sitting here now for the past 2 days, and I figured, one less thing on his things to do before we head out again, so I'm going to do it. I think that it should be pretty simple. I googled it and it looks pretty straightforward, and so I'm going to channel my inner Teal and do this on my own. So I have the screwdriver and I have the socket set. We do already have a water pump repair kit, so that's good. And while I'm at it, I'm going to also change the lower oil thing. Teal has the lower unit pump, and he also picked up the lower unit gear lube. So I think that I have everything on hand. One of the things I think is different the way that I tackle projects versus how Teal tackle projects is, before I start, I like to pour myself a nice glass of wine to get going. Well, this is a bigger project and is really outside of my comfort zone, so I think I need a little bit more, so I'm gonna give myself a bottle. Time to get started. Let's get to work. So I just watched a video on YouTube and it's pretty simple. First thing I have to do is drain the oil in the lower unit, and there's only 2 set screws. Can't be too bad. Oops. Oh, damn. Oh, man. Oops. So that job is done. Not too bad. It actually did not need, or I don't think it uses that much oil, but it's dark. So it's a good thing that we're replacing it. So before we get started on the rest of this project, Emma and I are gonna go up and drop this off at the recycling station. Now that the oil is taken care of, there's a pin here that I have to punch out, and that will release the shifting rod, I guess. And then there's just a matter of 4 bolts I have to remove. So then the lower unit will go down and I can access the impeller. Should be simple. It should be like butter, right? So I've already taken 3 of the bolts out, so I need to be extra careful with this last one because I don't want this thing just sliding on out and then I'll be in a world of hurt. And I have to be really careful because the housing for the impeller is made out of plastic. So they said to be really careful so you don't hurt anything. Ta-da! I'm not sure if it's the second glass of wine or what, but this has gone pretty smoothly. It's time to crack this baby open and see what's happening with the impeller. If Teal knew what I was doing right now, it would probably drive him crazy because obviously we have different techniques in how we approach projects, and Teal likes things done a certain way. But you know, I have to pitch in when I can, and it's been kind of fun, but it's taken me a lot longer than I thought, because looking at that YouTube video, it was about a 6-minute video and he made it seem so easy. So this is big props to Teal because this is not as complicated as anything else that he normally does, but I'm trying. I should probably check on him because it's been a couple hours and I haven't taken his temperature yet. So hang tight, I'm going to do that and we'll get back to this. All the bolts are off. Yay! How you doing? Teal?
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Just tired.
Okay, well, I'll check on you in a little bit, okay? Teal looks good. I checked his vitals and he seems fine. Still sleeping, so let's see what's underneath here. Okay, so I see a problem here already, and I don't even know anything about engines, but that set pin is in here instead of in here. So that could be it, but I have the repair kit, so I'm just gonna replace everything. So I was able to pry everything out, and the repair kit actually came with new gaskets and new plates for everything. So since I'm already in here, I might as well. The hard part now is to put this pin and line it up while I ease the, I guess, impeller down on it. My tweezers come in handy. So I don't think I'm going to complain next time Teal steals them from me. So one thing the guy, oops. So one thing the guy on the YouTube channel said was, because this is a plastic housing, not to over crank on it so you don't crack it. So he said you just gotta kind of feel for it. So make sure that they're tight, but not too tight that it breaks it. I am in the home stretch. Everything is reassembled, fingers crossed. I just have to lower this, add the gear lube, and then test fire it. I guarantee you, as soon as I test fire it, Teal is gonna wake up. Oh! Okay, the moment of truth. I got my bucket of water, I got my trusty assistant, and I got the fuel all hooked up and primed. So we just gotta test it and make sure that everything works smoothly. I think it's gonna go well.
Do I just hold this?
You hold this and make sure that the water spits into this and hang on to this.
Okay.
Woo! It works! Woohoo! Woo!
Hello all stations. This is United States Coast Guard Station, Coos Bay. Conditions of the Coos Bay bar are as follows. Jetty tips 1 to 3 foot swell, main channel 2 to 4 foot swell, winds are light and variable, and visibility is 5 nautical miles. The bar is currently unrestricted, however vessel operators are encouraged to have everyone wear a life jacket while crossing the bar. For further information, contact this Coast Guard Station on channel 16 VHF. Break.
Well,
This is United States Coast Guard Station, Coos Bay, out.
I like everything with the exception of the winds, light and variable. They should pick up this afternoon, but conditions should be nice and flat out here. And side note, I'm feeling pretty good today. Much better. Coos Bay, here we come. Looks like the seas are pretty flat out here today. Ah, feels good. Get these sails up again. Sea state is pretty calm. 3 to 5 foot swell, about 7 to 10 seconds apart. Can't complain. Well, I guess I can. The winds are light and variable, but we're clipping along at 5.5 knots. If we hold this pace, we'll be in there before dark. Winds are supposed to pick up a little bit later today. It's still morning though. It's supposed to pick up 5 to 15, gusting to 18 to 20 from the northwest. So that should be just perfect to push us into Coos Bay.
We just had some major excitement. We're just sailing along at a nice clip, 6.5 knots, and we hit a thud on our port, was it port or our starboard? Our starboard hull. And so Teal and I are freaking out thinking we hit something, maybe a crab pot or a log maybe. But we looked behind us and it was a shark. I think it was a pretty big one too.
About 10, 11 footer.
Oh my gosh.
It's huge.
I hope it's okay.
We pissed it off, I'll tell you that.
Poor guy.
He was flailing behind us for a while, but then we watched him swim away, so I think we stunned him. Scary.
Other than that, it's a good cruise.
Yes. We are sailing along in almost ideal conditions here. Seas are still staying flat, and winds are about 10 to 12 knots off our beam, and we're maintaining 6.5. As you can see by the sea state, it's been a beautiful day out here. We got a kind of a mixed bag of everything. A little bit of wind, a little bit of calm. You know, it started out a little light as we were leaving this morning, but we have 80 miles to run from bar to bar to make it in daylight hours, and that was our goal. And we got to sail a big chunk of it and made good time. Actually, we were sailing much faster than we could power. Now, winds are dying off. We had a chance, so we doused the main. We're still flying the jib because we could reef that in real quick. But we kicked on the engines and we're gonna power in over the bar. We're still about 8 miles out, but in order to make this in daylight hours, we have to kick up our speed a little bit, and the winds are just dying off on us. So, looks like we'll make it in plenty of time. There's about 3 hours of daylight. We're about 2 hours away. So it should be pretty good timing. We're timing this bar crossing on a flood tide. And that's important when the wind is out of the west, because on an ebb tide, it'll stack up real quick in the mouth. In fact, we heard quite a bit of restrictions on some of the river systems as we were traveling south today. But overall, it's been a fun day. You know, we got to see some wildlife. Saw some whales, saw some sharks, saw some tuna jumping, and you know what? Can't complain. Okay, on our approach, Emma is forward on crab pot watch. As the depths get a little shallower, the crab pots increase, and she gets a kick out of this. Okay, the ladies are having fun as we enter Coos Bay here. We're gonna round this green marker and shoot the channel. Well, here we are, tucked into the Charleston Marina in plenty of daylight hours. We probably have another hour for the sunsets. Feels good. Nice day. It's time for Lynn to whip up some dinner and we'll relax. So we'll see you guys later.
Oops. Oh, damn. No, I can't get it out. So one thing the guy, oops. Oh man. Oops.